Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself I am Lavkush Jogi. I have completed MSc in Agriculture, Seed Science and Technology, specialization Seed Science and Technology from HNBGUS Central University, Srinagar, Uttarakhand in 2020. I have got 52 rank in PhD program Seed Science and Technology from Indian Council of Agricultural Research ICR All India Entrance Examination for admission in 2021. Today I am going to tell about the topic food laws and standards in India. The Indian food processing industry is regulated by numerous laws and regulations which governs the aspect of sanitation, licensing and other essential permits that are mandatory to start up and run a food business. The legislation that dispensed with food safety in India was the Prevention of Food Adulterations Act 1 1954, hereinafter referred to as PEA. The PEA has been in place for over 5 decades and there was a need for change due to various ins and outs which include the changing parameters of food industry, requirements of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. FSSAI initiates harmonizations of India food rules and regulation as per international standards. It founds a new national regulatory body, the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, hereinafter referred to as FSSAI, to develop science-based standard and procedures for food and to regulate and monitor the sale, manufacture, distribution, processing, storage and import of food so as to ensure the availability of sale healthy and wholesome food for human consumption. All food imports will therefore be subject to the provision of the FSSAI rules and regulations which, as noticed by Government of 5 August 2011 will be applicable. Core regulations of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. A. Signage and customer notice. It is important to note that through the provisions of FSSAI do not specially deliver for any statutory and regulatory requirements either for signage or customer notice, but it has certain provisions with regard to advertisement of product by food business operators. Section 24 of FSSAI delivers that no advertisement shall be made of any food which is misleading or breaks of deceiving the provisions, rule and regulation mode thereunder. No food operating business person shall be engage himself in any unfair trade practice for the purpose of promoting the sale, supply, use and consumption of articles of food or adopt any unfair, misleading practice, including the practice of making any statement, whether orally or by visible are in writing representations which Section 3 or 1B of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India defines the term advertisement, which include a notice as any audio or visual publicity representations or pronouncement made by means of any light, gas, sound, smoke, electric media, print, internet or website, and includes through any notice, label, invoice, wrapper, circular or other documents. Food Safety and Standard Authority of India being applicable to all food business operator in India, the provision with regard to advertisement would have to be complied with. B. Packing and labeling. Food Safety Standard Authority of India provides for separate packing and labeling regulation known as Food Safety and Standard Packing and Labeling Regulation 2021, hereinafter referred to as the Packing or Labeling Regulations, which lay down the statutory and regulatory necessities for packaging and labeling of product. A complete reading of the packaging and labeling regulations show that there are different kinds of product: pre-packaged, proprietary and other definite product as mentioned in the regulations. Regulation 2.12 of Food Safety and Standard, Food Product Standard and Food Additives Regulation 2011 define proprietary food as food that has not been packed and labeled as per standards. Regulation 1 or 8 of the packaging and labeling regulations defines prepackaged or prepacked food as food which is packed in a package of any nature in such a manner that the contents cannot be altered without changing it, and which is ready for sale to the customer. The packaging and labeling regulation provide the general requirements for labeling of food product prescribed under the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. Some of the packaging and labeling rules are as follows. Contents on the label shall be clear, prominent, indelible and easily readable by the consumer under normal condition of buying and use. Label in prepacked food product shall be completed in such a way that the will not become separated from the container. Prepacked food shall not be described or presented on any label or in the manner that is wrong, misleading or illegally are is likely to make an incorrect impression regarding its character in any respect. Where the container is roofed by a wrapper, the wrapper shall carry the necessary information, or the label on the container shall be readily readable through the outer wrapper and not obscured by it. The particulars of declaration required under these rules the mentioned on the label shall be in Hindi or English in Devgri script, provide that nothing herein contained shall prevent the use of any other language in addition to the language required under this regulation and regulations. In addition, the above rules and regulation mentioned every package of food shall also carry the following information on the label: name of the food, list of ingredients, date of manufacturing or packing, best before and use by date, nutritional information, name of and complete address of the manufacturer, net quality, lot or code, batch identification. Declaration regarding vegetable and non-vegetable. Declaration regarding food additives, country or origin for imported food and instruction for use. Since a large variety of food products are being imported into India under the Packaging and Labeling Regulation 2011, it becomes compulsory to mention the country of origin of the food on the label of food imported into India, and when a food product undergoes processing in a second country which changes its nature, the country in which the processing is performed shall be considered as the country of origin for the purposes of labeling. Therefore, the above the statutory and regulatory requirements that are to be avoided with regard to labeling of products that are sold and the Indian market as packed goods. See licensing, registration and health and sanitary permits. It is also important to note that Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, being the only legislation applicable to the food industry throughout the country, will also apply as far as the national health and sanitary permits are concerned. The Food Safety and Standards Licensing and Registration of Food Business Regulation 2011, hereinafter referred to as License and Registration Regulation, govern the aspect of license and registration of food business operator. Under Regulation 2 of the License and Registration Regulation, all FBO in the country are required to be registered or licensed in accordance with the registration and license regulation. Hence, no person shall, being any food business unless a valid license is possessed by the food business operator and the conditions with regard to sanitary, safety and hygienic requirements have to be complied with all time by them. One of the major purposes of these conditions is to make sure that the food business operator maintenance sanitary and hygienic standards as specified in each food category. It is hereby documented and declared as a matter of legislative determinations that in the field of human nutrition, clean, safe, wholesome food is crucial to the health and well-being of the consumer of the country. It shall be the demand responsibility of the food business operator to obey with the safety, labeling and health and sanitary requirements laid down in the license and registration regulation. The labeling requirements are specified under the regulation and they need to be complied all the time. Penalties for not having Food Safety and Standard Authority of India license or registration are up to 2 lakh rupees. However, under section 63 it provides that if any person or food business operator FBO accept the person accepted from licensing under subsection 2 of section 31 of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India himself or by any person on his behalf who is obliged of obtain license, distributed, sell, manufacture, store or imports any article of food without license shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend up to 6 months and also with a fine which may extend up to 5 lakh rupees. Approx USD 9,000. Other license. The Food Safety and Standard Authority of India being a central act has been to be obeyed with by the food business operators in the country. However, India being a hog market, each state may have their local law and regulation which may also need to be complied with. Some the other approvals and license that a food operator may be mandatory to get from various authorities under the laws include health and trade license from the municipal corporation of the relevant area, registration under the Soap and Establishment Act of the respective state, environmental clearance, verification certificate under the standard of Weight and Measures Act 1 1976 for each of the outlet issued by the Department of Legal Metrological of the respective areas, registration under the Police Act of the respective city state, no objection certificate for fire prevention and safety. eating house licensing, liquor licensing. A license for playing music in restaurant is also required for playing recorded or live music. It is mandatory for food business to obtain insurance from any insurance company with regard to public policy, product liability, fire policy, buildings and asset. Other insurance through are not mandatory, may be useful is taken. First, some of the regulation, registration and permission may include registration under the Employee Provident Fund, and second, miscellaneous provisions Act 1 1952 if it is enabling more than 20 employees. 3. Registration is also required under the Central Excise Act 1 1944 as the respect of goods specified in third schedule of the said act, repacking, relabeling, putting or altering retail sell price etc. will fall into the category or manufacture subject to applicability other statutory and regulatory compliance may also include. For registration under Income Tax Act 1 1961, Customer Act 1 1962, Sale Tax, Service Tax and other labor law. Foreign direct investment in the food processing industry. Foreign direct investment, hereinafter referred to as FDI, foreign direct investment, is permissible for all the processed food product under 100% automatic route, except for items reserved for micro, small and medium enterprises where FDI is permissible under automatic route up to 24% subject to applicable law, regulation, securities and other conditions. This portion of the site is for informational purposes only. The content is not legal advice. The statement and opinions are the expressions of author, not crop seed, and have not been evaluated by crop seed for accuracy, completeness or change in the law.